What is good, everybody, and welcome to the complete guide on how you can make higher consistent income as a freelancer in general. So this applies to everybody that is currently doing a freelancing skill, such as designers, copywriters, video editors, like everybody under the sun. So most freelancers think they need more clients, but the real barrier is your mindset, and that's actually killing your income before you even get started. This isn't just another pep talk. It's your wake-up call to get started on this checklist, and otherwise you will be consistently struggling for the rest of your life. So make sure you watch the end of the video because this is going to be very impactful and very short. So here are 3 income-killing beliefs. 1, I'll figure it out later. This is the root of imposter syndrome. It leads to poor prep and client churn because you're not able to deliver for your clients effectively or be ahead of their mindset and their perception of you so that you can help correct that and show them that you are actually as valuable as you say you are and that you're worth the money they're paying you. 2, I'm not ready yet. So for example, not making consistent content, not posting enough, not doing enough outreach. This keeps you from consuming instead of executing. So you want to get out of that mindset as soon as possible. 3, I can't charge that much. This lowers your self-worth and makes clients doubt your value. So when you show up to specific client calls, you want to make sure to charge enough. Otherwise, they won't value your service enough. And if they're high enough of a level, it's actually going to hurt you by not charging enough. So that's why for majority of my clients, actually for all my coaching clients now, I charge $1,000 an hour. Like this is for big businesses that can easily afford it. And I'm about to do one in an hour literally today. So I'm literally practicing when I'm preaching. So here's the real reason why you're broke. You wait for confidence. So you delay action until you feel ready, or worse, you hit up people like me on Instagram and you wait for validation or proof of concept before you do anything. You're the person asking me in the DMs like, hey, I'm about to pitch this person. Do you think they're qualified? It's like, bro, just pitch them. But by the time you spend to ask me if they're a qualified client, I've already pitched 50 people. So like I'm just literally doing more than you, and that's why I have lots of confidence. And it's crazy, just like Wes Watson says, through doing more and executing more, you literally build your confidence and self-worth and crush imposter syndrome. But it has to be by creating a vicious, like built out, fully fleshed out schedule for yourself and actually sticking to it and doing a hardcore amount of stuff. Like for example, right now for me, I'm filming 6 YouTube videos in about 45 minutes. And that's just the way I function. And the people I know that make the most money, that have the Lambos, the McLarens, the Rolexes, the nice apartments, the penthouses, they just do more than other people. And it's plain and simple, and they're highly focused. So this goes in with avoid taking action, or worse, this is way more insidious. This is like you taking action on things that don't move the needle on your business. So like getting distracted and studying a new concept, or doing research and think it's disguised as productivity, but it's actually not. It's actually damaging you, and it's not just damaging you in the moment that you're not like actively getting clients and learning how to get better at your craft, but it's damaging your mindset because now you're training yourself to want to do that instead of like doing needle moving stuff. If you want to be a high level business owner, you have to drill into your head that you can only do high level stuff. You literally have to get pissed off and annoyed with anything that removes you from taking action. So that includes, like everything basically. So next, this all leads up to you feeling stuck at your identity level. So you built up this identity of yourself, and like basically every moment that you don't do a needle moving task and you do something else instead, you're telling yourself, I'm not good enough. See, I knew it. You weren't good enough. Like you're not doing this thing you should be doing. And it starts to erode away at you, and it starts to become a lifestyle. Then pretty soon you're getting a job again and you're telling yourself everything's okay, when in fact your life is and screwed up from the start. So just don't even go down that road. It's the same principle that pickup artist teaches when they're talking about picking up girls. Every time that you do not talk to a girl that you want to talk to, then you're further drilling that habit in yourself of, hey, I'm not the kind of guy that talks to girls when I want to. And it starts to erode your confidence and self-esteem. All right. So this is the same exact way, like building confidence and stuff. Like people are doing all these affirmations and all this bullshit when they're fundamentally telling themselves they're not worthy through their actions daily and their thoughts, because they're eroding their self-esteem. So like build your self-esteem up, be the guy that actually follows through on everything you say, and you'll be on your way. So here's how to fix your money mindset. So you want to audit your money beliefs. So like, why do you think it's messed up to charge $1,000 an hour? Like if you have inherently bad beliefs about money, like you think people with lots of money are taking advantage of people, or they're doing something scrupulous in some way, or there's some nobility in you being broke, or a nobility in you not charging more for whatever reason, this is going to create a belief in you that is going to prevent you from ever taking action towards where you actually want to be. And then when there's that disassociation between where you say you want to be and the actions you're actually taking, that's literally the definition of suffering according to Buddhism and according to everything else in this reality. I got some pre-workout for you guys here. This is freaking fun. You guys are all beasts. You know, and when I talk about you, and I say you, I'm talking more metaphorically. I'm not actually talking to you. One sec. I think the light is like shining in super intensely on my green screen. Let me just like close this real quick. Much better there. Okay, cool. So now this looks definitely more like a green screen and not like a real window in my real apartment. Okay, so next you want to adopt a client CEO mindset. So you're not just a provider, you're a growth engine. So you're not like, if you've done retail like me in the past and you got this attitude of like customer service and the client's always right and all this BS, like you need to assume the role and belief of more of a manager. So like you are a manager of their business, and this is how you push forward. So yeah, you need to assume the role of a manager and tell them how it's going to be, and like assume the role. Because like if you show up like a weakling, like employee or customer service rep, you're going to get your ass handed to you, and then they're going to start questioning your price and everything else in between. And so this is how you earn respect, especially before you have results, you know. But like, for example, if you're a copywriter, you want to do more than just write. You want to like build, fix, and lead the team to the promised land and where everybody wants to go. And that's how you can command higher rates like $1,000 an hour like me. Next, stop playing small. So don't do $500 projects unless you really need social proof and you're more in the beginning of your journey. You want to have more of a full stack mindset. So even if you don't know how to do like, you know, full stack services for whatever your offer is, like entire funnels and all that, at least have some strategy under your belt of how they function so that you can bring your high level thoughts to the table when you're closing clients. And then at this point, 5K retainers will become your new normal. So the hard truth about success: mindset matters most. Obviously, your psychology determines your income. This isn't just woo-woo, psychological, behavioral, or tactical. Like this is, you know, I'm much less of a fan of like affirmations and all this stuff, which I do find powerful. But if you're inherently the rest of your time doing actions that are like disassociative with, you know, who you want to be and who you think, like who you, basically want to become, it's going to create an issue that is no amount of affirmations is ever going to overcome, because you're actively telling yourself that you're not worthy through your actions. So practical changes, small shifts create massive results. So by you monitoring how you act, feel, and think throughout the day, and that's how you create change. So like, for example, if you're nervous about getting on a client call, and like that's who you are, and like you're telling yourself, I'm the person with anxiety, like I'm nervous on a client call, like, well, one, you're not ready for the client call. You feel like you're going to screw it up in some way. And two, the way you hold yourself, think, and act is nervous and anxious before the client call was ever even in the picture. So you were already set up like from a shitty position in the beginning, and now you're going to go into a more stressful situation and go, oh, I'm somehow going to pull this off and feel good and crush it and demand $1,000 an hour. Good luck with that. So you need to be in the moment, every single moment, like calm, confident, assertive, like let's go, because the small changes lead to massive shifts. So for those who haven't heard, I haven't always been like where I am now in this top floor apartment in Florida, and like I just bought a fully loaded Cybertruck, and you know, making like $60K a month, through my agency and all this stuff I've done, like working with Alex Hermosi and Russell Brunson and giant 12-figure gurus online, self-development gurus. Like one of them bought his mom an island in Fiji, for example. You know, it wasn't always this way. I used to actually work at Costco for 4.5 years, and I struggled with all this mindset stuff I'm talking about with you now. And it just like completely screwed up my life. And so I'm very, very qualified to talk about this because a lot of people get over it very quickly. I didn't. It took me a while to learn it. And that's why you see people online who are like 21 and rich and successful. It's like they just got through it quicker. And so I just turned 30. I've accomplished life of my wildest dreams by 29. So I feel very, very good about that. But I also wish that I'd discovered these things earlier. So make sure you pay close attention. I moved to a cartel infested ghetto in Mexico, and I worked for $2.90 an hour at the beginning of my freelancing journey. First, a copywriting job. I'm what's called a full stack email marketer. So like I do email copywriting and I do like all the setup for the email stuff in between. So I just manage email marketing as a whole for my clients. And yeah, I had to sneak, this is actually a bus. I had to sneak onto the bus every day because I couldn't afford transportation from my apartment in Portland to get to Costco. I used to live in Portland, Oregon. And yeah, it was just super stressful. There was homeless people on my front porch. It was terrible. Like just, I shudder to think that that was my life. And you know, through it all, I knew in the end that this would all be a bad dream, but it just felt so far away and intangible because I didn't know anybody in the game crushing it. I would just watch YouTube videos like this and wonder why not me. And then I would give up and get depressed and then realize I can't give up or else I'm going to be miserable the rest of my life, and then just viciously take action on this online marketing stuff like my life depends on it, because it does. So I started on learning this mindset from two 26-year-olds that I moved in with in Florida, Jason Wojo and this other guy, and they were making $200K to $600K a month, and that's where I learned how their mindset worked. And I realized they were younger than me, a few years younger, and I got to compare their journeys to mine and be like, why did they make it quicker than me? And it's because of all this mindset stuff I'm sharing with you. So here are 5 limiting mindset patterns, the identity lag. Basically, you can't show up as a leader yet because you haven't like fully embodied that type of person, and you don't even believe yourself because you're not even taking action on the exact stuff you know you should be taking action on. So you're just like at a deficit from the beginning. There's probably a learning addiction. So you're probably the conversations you have like with your parents or other people in your life is probably like things you want to get started and you want to do, like, yeah, I got this idea, I'm thinking about doing this. Like if that's the majority of what you're saying, what you got to know what you're doing. Every time you do that, you're telling yourself you're not good enough, which is creating this pattern of you staying broke. Because every moment that you're telling other people about your ideas is you seeking validation so that you can have the motivation to go out and pursue it. You know, if you just go ahead and do it and don't wait for other people's approval and don't give a shit about anything else, just like viciously taking action, like that's the people that actually want it. The people that actually want it are not talking about it and singing it from the rooftops. They're actually fucking doing it. So next is fear of exposure, because you know you're a fraud because you're not taking action, you're addicted to learning, and you're seeking validation. So of course you don't want to be in the public eye because you know that it's only a matter of time until people find out that you're a fraud because you're not like viciously hitting it like you know you should be. So that this creates fear of exposure, and failure proves that you're not good enough, and you're already failing every day by not, you're failing yourself by like calling people, talking about what you want to do, not taking action. It's like, again, I say this all with love because I was literally that person for 4.5 years. Okay. I had to work so hard to get myself to this point. And now people say this is a fucking green screen. So whatever, there's always going to be haters saying this shit's AI generated. Like they'll be like, this is 11 labs, bro. It's like, yeah, dude, the real version of myself is like hiding somewhere. And like, I just use the confidence tone in 11 labs and now I'm uploading this shit. So all the stuff I'm talking about creates low self-worth. And that's why people are in my comments hating this stuff, because they have low self-worth and they just can't imagine someone having a badass life like me, that they'll be like, oh, it's AI generated, bro. Like there's no way that someone can just be happy and confident because like you're evading what you know you should be doing. So which after all this, of course, how are you going to show up to a sales call and say that your price is worth more? Of course, you're not going to be able to. You're going to butcher it. So this creates desperation mode, because now you're in a desperate state where you're like, hey, I'm not good enough to afford good clients. And then that creates a reality of you only having 1 or 2 clients that are all low paid. And then so now your desperation is like a vicious cycle and a landslide of you going backwards. I call this us like cycling, or yeah, it's just like when you like lose your mindset and you start to get in this state of like anxiety and desperation, then you start to slide backwards. And until you fix that shit mentally, you're not going to get that in the physical. So you literally have to fix that before you move any further. It's crazy. So here's the 3-part mindset reframe framework. So first, awareness. So good job watching this video. That's the first step. So now you at least realize that you have this issue, or whatever issues that you heard me discuss earlier. And then in the moment, you need to create a pattern interrupt. So stop yourself and go, why am I thinking this? Or why am I doing this? Or why am I not taking this action? And be honest with yourself. Be like, yes, me in this moment, I am making myself insecure and I'm making myself broke by not pushing myself forward in this thing and not, holding myself to my word. If you say, every time you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you're eroding your self-worth and eroding your belief system about yourself, which is shooting yourself in the foot before you ever even get started. So that creates more of a vicious pattern with this procrastination. So then now replace it with a better thought, or action, obviously. Thought, action, result. So I get paid to solve problems. I'm going to solve this problem quickly, So like you just become the type of person that's a savage that like viciously hits it, that quickly fixes problems, and you don't ask dumb questions because you're not seeking validation from people. How mindset directly impacts income. So your mindset is the exact ceiling of like how far you're going to get. And you have to lead with certainty and do actions to build confidence. And this creates client results because you're doing what you need to do on your clients. If you're doing it for yourself, of course, you're going to do it for your clients. And so this is like, it just has to be who you become. You have to fully embody this or else you're never going to make it. So reputation growth, you become known as a leader once you start crushing it for clients, and then your income literally explodes. And so this is the exact process I went through to get to where I am now. So here is a program that I'm offering everybody. It is my full stack email marketer coaching program where I teach you how to charge 5 to 6K a client and how you can go from broke, struggling, depressed to making 25 to 30K a month as an email marketer in 2025 and beyond. So yeah, this is a beautiful thing. Click the link in the description if you want more information, but that is all that I have for you guys. I know you're going to crush this. Like, just take everything I say seriously in this video and make sure to watch the next video because I am dropping some absolute heat in this YouTube channel. Peace, guys. Have an amazing day.